Creating this livery is well overdue, so now here it is. So stick around and you'll see how it was done. Welcome to Joe Pace Racing, everybody, and I'm starting here on this livery on the hood, or we know it here in Australia as the bonnet. And I'm going to start with the head of the Warbird. As you can see, I've got that little piece up there. And the bonnet here is known as part or body 2. It's a separate part of the body. I'm just trying to align this little section here, and what I want to do is create the like the flare on the side of the bird's head. So it's pretty tedious when you need to try and pick which part which is going to give you the right angle or the right sort of deflection that you're looking for. And it's a matter of dragging the decal or just resizing the decal so you squeeze it into size, but also you can shrink it down as well. So what my idea is, what I'm trying to do here is, I want the bird's head to look silver as the color of the body, but the outside of the bird is going to be black, as you can see with the color of the decal here. So I'm using the decals to be the outline of the head, or the actual warbird itself. Once I've got it in place, it's a matter of getting the angle correct. And you'll find that there's a lot of back and forth, seeing what's right, seeing what works. So we zoom out just to see exactly where it's at. And this way we can tell where it's going to end up roughly. And you'll see later on in the video that even though I'm making adjustments here, I will have to make readjustments later on just to finesse it that little bit more. Let's speed things up and you'll see how it starts coming together. You're probably wondering, why am I using a triangle here? Well, you'll find that different shapes give you a different outcome with the shape that you're looking for. So you'll see how this will turn out with the angle that I'm trying to find. What I want to do now is duplicate that other triangle. And what I'm trying to achieve here is get the look of the feathers sort of pulling away from the bird's head. I'm just trying to resize it correctly. Now I go off and look for another decal for my next part of the bird's head. And with this decal, I'm looking to create the bird's eye. This is going to set up the perspective of where I can line up particular outline so that I can line it up correctly, or so I know roughly where I want the parts to go. Just a little history about this Warbird. It's not just any bird, it's supposed to represent the Falcon, which is from the Ford Falcon in Australia. They used to race in the V8 Supercars. With this shape, I'm attempting to create the bird's brow above its eye, and to make it look kind of, not menacing, like it's got a bit of depth. Once I get this into the correct alignment, I'll put another piece in between the eye and the brow to help create that depth, and we'll get into that right now. Okay, now that I've got the brow where I want it, I'm going to duplicate what looks like the eye to help create that depth that I'm looking for. And there you have it. There's the bird's eye in place. Kind of looks a bit weird because that large black area at the top there kind of looks a little bit like Elvis Presley's hairstyle, for those of you who might know who Elvis Presley is. Famous rock star. The king of rock and roll. Alright, moving along now, let's continue working on the little feathers on the back of the Falcon's head. So once again, I've duplicated the triangle here. Now I'm going to move it into place and make that look the way I want it to look. Using another triangle, I'll make it look like it's the end of the head. What I need to do, as you'll see, what I'm doing here is I'm going to have to black out all that area around the bird. So that's why I'm going to start moving this into place, which was a square, but now I've made it rectangle. So you can change a square into a rectangle, a circle into an oval, and so on. So that those shapes are not fixed as you see them. You can manipulate them in a way that is desired for your needs. Let's speed it up a little bit more. You can see how this starts coming together. Now that that's done, we can move on to creating the beak for the Falcon. And all I've got to do now is try to find the correct shape that'll do the job. Now remembering what I said earlier, it's all about hit and miss. Sometimes this shape may not be the correct shape. I might have to go get another one. Might have to spin it around like I just tried then. Just see how this works out. You're probably wondering, a square? Why a square? Just watch what happens. Now I'll pick this off-angle triangle. I'll just get this into position at an angle that I need for the beak. And I'll put it about there. I'll duplicate that little rectangular type shape there that was once a square. Fill in that spot. Okay, let's head over and select another shape. It's time to make the rising wings of the Warbird. And let's do the same thing on the other side. I had a little bit of difficulty getting these wings right, and I had to make some adjustments later on to make them more symmetrical. And once again, I need to go over to the other side and do the same thing again. And now that that's done, I need to start colouring in the area around the top of the Warbird's head and body. By elongating shapes, thinning them and widening them, you can make it fit to your desire. Okay, we're not quite done yet. Let's move on to the Warbird's head again, and we'll do a little bit more finessing. A little movement here. A little adjustment there, and it's almost where I want it to be. Well, I don't like this, so let's try something else. I'll get rid of that part and look for another part, another shape. The idea of doing this is to try and add a little bit of curve to those feathers on the back of the head. Now I just want to make sure that that looks okay, the angle and so on. There's a little point there. But what I want to do now is make it look like the wings are flaring out onto the side of the car. And to do this, I need to use a couple of triangles and elongate them into position. Let's speed this process up a little bit more so you can see how it comes together. And now I want to make the A-pillar black, and I want that black color to also carry across the edge of the roof. When I've done that, let's look at how it's going so far, just quickly. Looking okay, looking good. Little finesses here and there. Colour in the spots that need to be coloured in. And now we'll get back into those flaring wings. So as I'm doing this, I also need to think about the areas that need to be coloured in black, because the car is like a, I think the colour was a metallic liquid silver. It's the colour I chose for this. So everything that isn't silver obviously has to be black, and I need to colour those areas in. I'll slow this down a little bit now so you can see how I add colour to the area between the top of the door and the seam of the roof where that joint is there. Remembering that this is all trial and error as you go along. Sometimes the shapes that you choose are not always the right one, so you need to go back. So you can choose the right shape you need. This may not be the right one either. It's, like I said, it's a matter of picking the right shape, or picking a shape to see if it's the right one, and then work with this. This one looks like it's the right one. And once again, we'll duplicate this on the other side. Duplicate that and stretch that across. A little bit of maneuvering. So you can see how you can move things, work it along edges, and make it work. Let's speed things up again and get it moving. Just adding some black highlights here so it lines up with the edge of the window there a little bit. There we go. Now I just need to add a bit of a black highlight to that top stoplight on the roof there. And that's how it's looking so far. Now I need to find the Ford logo and place that decal on the side of the car. Well, that's roughly where I want it for the time being. I'll make an adjustment to it later. What I need to do now is place the number plate, like the car number plate, on the side of the car, so I can figure out where I'm going to put that 00. I have a few tricks up my sleeve, so watch this. I'm placing this square shape underneath the original number plate decal, so if I need to race this car, if I choose to race this car online with this livery and a generic decal is placed in the same position, it won't stick out or overlap or anything like that. So I'll duplicate this on the other side. And once I've done that, I'll duplicate this once more, and the top layer is going to be black. What I want to do now is I want to shrink this down a little bit to create a white outline around the number plate decal. As you can see, that's what I'm doing there. And I'll just duplicate that on the other side. I don't actually need this number plate decal up here anyway, because I don't want it to be covering the Falcon's beak. So away it goes. Now I'll whack the 00 in place, make them white. They're not the exact 00s that I was wanting to use, but they'll do anyway. I know they're a little bit italic, but at the same time it's original. That's what I think. Now let's get back to this Ford logo and get it on just a decent angle so it's not overlapping or falling underneath the number plate decal. Now we'll just put the Ford logo on the top of the bonnet as well. Now it's time to start blending the black from the Ford emblem into the car. Into the body of the car anyway. You'll see what I'm going to do here with this. I want it to run from the edge of the top of the Ford emblem there, and then also run down towards the bottom, just to create a kind of flowing effect. Now I'll duplicate this and I'll start adding some color to the door. Now I need to get this angle just right, so it's not overlapping the wheel arch, it's not underneath the number decal, but I don't want to make it too small in size to fit. It's kind of like a Goldilocks effect. I want it to be just right. Now just add a bit more color to the door, make a few more black squares, and I could call this almost done. Not the whole thing, just this part of it, because there's more to do on the rear of the car as well. What I'll do now is I'll remove or just hide the number plate decals so I can see underneath them. That way I don't miss any parts that I need to make all black underneath those areas. And then when I'm done, I'll unhide the decal numbers so they can be seen again in all their glory. Just making the final touches here. Move them into the right position. You'll need this decal here to get the right angle to continue with that flying effect as I spoke of earlier on the top of the Ford logo. Okay, now that that is done, I can unhide the number decals. Now with the hood and the side of the car complete, or where I want it to be so far, I can move to the rear of the car and work on that area. And what I want to do here now is make the rear mostly black with the effect of the wings coming onto the back of the vehicle on the side, and you'll see that as it comes together. Now I want to place the 00 on the bottom of the rear window as it is on that version of the vehicle. And there we go. Over to the left hand side of the vehicle now, and I will add some color here and get that wing effect happening. What I'm attempting to do here is get the edges around the tail lights blacked out, so I can continue with that look of having side wings. And now it's just a matter of resizing that circle to make it fit in the spot where I want it to go. So I've duplicated that circle thing around the tail lights on the right hand side, and we're good to go towards the next step. Once again, I'm going to use the triangles and elongate them so I can get the effect of the wings coming down the side of the car. Now that that is done, let's move down to the bottom of the vehicle. The other area is called Other, which is down near this, which is actually the side skirts. And I've got to make those like dark grey because I can't put the silver on there because there are no decals that are chrome or metallic available at the moment. Hopefully one day there will be. I'm just placing that decal on the side skirt there, the continuation of that line from the Ford logo. And I'll do the same on the other side. And from here what I want to do is black out the area leading towards the front of the side skirt. Okay, it's pretty much done. Now it's time to do a little bit of tweaking here and there. Now what I'll do is I'll add some sponsor decals just to finish it off. And let's put that Mobile 1 sticker in place. And now I add some colour to the fins and also to the front spoiler. Right now I need to place the Dunlop decal right on the front so you can see it from above. And a little Dunlop decal down on the side of the spoiler there. And one on the other side as well. Because I can't forget a big old Mustang decal on the rear spoiler. So now it's time to place the Gibson Motorsport logo on the side of the spoiler. I couldn't find the logo just on its own because that logo actually has a continuation of the name Gibson Motorsport. So I had to work a little bit of magic and make it so only the G for Gibson appears. Well, that is just about it, everybody. So I put the two Ford decals on the rear of the vehicle. I hope you've enjoyed me creating this livery, and I hope that you were able to pick something up and learn from this and also use it in your own livery creation sometime. Let me know how you go. Also, thanks for watching Joe Pace Racing. Give this a like, guys, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing when I do create more liveries and show you how to do things. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.